Hi, Chelsea Elson here from Traveling Fig, and I got another order from Imperfect Produce delivered yesterday, and in it were things that I picked out, but I picked out hatch chilies, which I've never used before, and then gypsy peppers, which I've never even heard of before. So I was thinking I love stuffed peppers, they're easy, they're so healthy, and I make them really good vegan, so I thought maybe I would try a stuffed pepper, but using these. So this is going to be the recipe. It's vegan, and I already have a lot of this stuff laid out. So to start, I'm just going to take my peppers, cut off the tops of them, and I'll just do one of each for the video just so you can see them. So cut off the top, discard it, and then I want to cut it perfectly in half so that it creates two boats. Beautiful. I don't know if it's like this everywhere else in the world, but when hatch chili season is upon us in LA, it seems like that's like the only thing you can buy in grocery stores. So I'm really excited to be making these. And these are almost more of a jalapeno popper than they are just a stuffed pepper, because we're going to be putting a lot of cashew nacho cheese in these and have a lot left over too. So take it out, it looks like a boat like this, so this will be one half of mine that I'll do for the video, and then I'll also use one of the little gypsy peppers. I guess I'll use the bigger one. So head off, oven is preheated to 400 degrees. Cut these babies in half. Awesome, get rid of all the seeds. Cool. And I don't even actually know if these are hot or not, but every time you bake something, it gets rid of a little bit of the hotness anyways. Okay, good. So all this to the side, I have my two peppers, and I'm just going to give them a little bit of an olive oil drizzle before we start working with them. And this will help so that, you know, when I'm moving them around too, they'll get some olive oil in the back of them so they don't stick in the pan and they char up really nice. Cool. Okay. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the cashew cheese. So in my food processor, I'm going to put about a cup of cashews, and I'm making a lot of cashew cheese so that I can comfortably make like 10 poppers or stuffed peppers. So a cup of that, and then I'll use some low sodium vegetable broth, and maybe I'll do 3/4 of a cup of this up to a cup. Cool. Put that right in. Awesome. And this one I just bought at Trader Joe's. It's just organic, low sodium vegetable broth, vegan approved. And then I am going to be using, where is it? I grilled up half an onion and 3 garlic cloves. I just grilled it for a little bit. The garlic cloves looked like they had been in the refrigerator for a little while, so I didn't want them to be too pungent and overtake the cashew cheese. So I grilled them up. I'm gonna put these in. And by the way, I soaked my cashews for 6 hours. So that's really important. That gives it a nice like cheesy texture more than a milky texture. So 6 hours I soaked them in water, and then I rinsed and drained them before they went in here. You can also soak them overnight or for 4 hours. And then nutritional yeast, I'm gonna do a nice healthy heap. So let's say 2 tablespoons. The nutritional yeast gives it such a cheesy flavor. It's definitely not necessary, but I love it. I think it's a vegan's best friend in the kitchen, and I use the Bragg version. Cool. And a little bit of pepper. I would say half a teaspoon of pepper. And the onions and the garlic were just grilled in some olive oil. Lid on. And the onion I also got from my Imperfect Produce. It was a little bit smaller than a normal onion, but completely beautiful. So I think it was probably in there because it was a little smaller. I'm just gonna put this on, and I will just do a food puree. definitely want to let it go for the full time, and then I can taste it. I can add a little bit of sea salt as I need to, and then if I'm doing anything special, you know, this cheese I'm not going to add my organic sriracha to yet, but if I do serve some later with some chips, I'll put some sriracha in there as well. Okay, so now in this other bowl, I've already put some black beans and some quinoa to give these a nice protein kick and to get the fiber. So I'm gonna mix these up with a pinch of salt. And I'm also gonna use my tomato that was in last week's imperfect produce box. So I'll just chop this up really quick into little pieces. You could also put some salsa in here, which would be really good. The fun part about peppers is like you really don't know how spicy they're gonna be though, so I would go probably pretty easy on the salsa and not do something too hot, but maybe serve some like Tabasco or sriracha or something a little hotter on the side. So just so you get the idea, throwing some tomatoes chopped up in there. And this tomato honestly was one of the better ones that I've had this season. It was so juicy and delicious. Did you also know that you should never put tomatoes in the refrigerator because they lose their flavor? But it's been so hot, we're in a heat wave in Los Angeles, so this one actually did go in for a little bit. So there we go. I've got like a quarter of a tomato chopped up in there. Mix that up really good. And then I'm gonna take a lime, also from my imperfect produce box, cut it in half. And if I served these for dinner, I'd give everybody a little lime wedge as well. But for the purpose of this, I'm just gonna take one slice and squeeze it over my mixture. Cool. Another mix. And then, using my spoon, I'm gonna spoon some of this mixture into the boat. So I wanna fill it up until it's about like 3/4 to the top filled with the mixture. And for this mixture, I would use to fill all of these, I would use probably 1/2 cup of beans and 1/2 cup of either quinoa or rice, and then 1/2 a tomato or a full tomato, depending on how much you like tomato. And I'll put some in my other one. Yum, it already smells delicious. Cool. And then again, I would let this cheese mixture go for a little bit longer until it really got a cheesy consistency. But for the purpose of this, I will just fill up these ones. I'll just do one for now and pop it in the oven so we can see how it comes out. And I really want to cover every inch of it so it gets that nice like gooey cheesiness when it comes out of the oven. Yeah. And then I'm gonna put it in the oven, just like this, on a baking sheet lined with tin foil, and I'm gonna put it in for 15 minutes. Then after that, I'm just gonna put it to broil for 2 minutes so it kind of bubbles over and gets all cheesy. And when it comes out, I'll sprinkle it with some red pepper flakes and serve it with sriracha on the side. And there you go. This is a perfect appetizer. Nobody will really even think that it's vegan because it's gonna be delicious. And it's also a good dinner. You know, you could put 2 of these on a plate with a side salad or with some chips and some salsa and some guacamole. It'd be a really cool meal. So thanks for watching. I'm so glad I got to use some of my imperfect produce this week. Getting a box every week has been so fun for me. It's really pushing my limits in the kitchen. So stay tuned. I'll be making more videos. Thanks again.